There's something strange about knowledge. It's supposed to make us free, enlightened, aware, but somewhere along the way it began to trap us instead. The more we know, the heavier life feels. Because once you start understanding everything, you can't unsee it. You notice the patterns, the cycles, the repetition. You realize that happiness is often just ignorance with better lighting. We used to look at the stars and wonder what they were. Now we know. Gas and dust, light years away. And somehow, that knowledge makes them feel less magical. But maybe the problem isn't that we don't know enough. Maybe it's that we've started knowing too much. We live in the age of information. Everything is accessible, every thought, every image, every answer right there, waiting to be consumed. But here's the catch. When you can know everything, nothing feels worth knowing. There's a term for this, information overload. Studies from the University of California have found that the average person consumes over 34 gigabytes of information a day. That's the equivalent of watching 16 full-length movies daily. And yet, despite having the entire world's knowledge in our pockets, most of us feel more lost than ever. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose. You end up drowning instead of quenching your thirst. And when every mystery is solved instantly by a Google search or an AI prompt, curiosity dies a little inside of you. Because curiosity only exists when something isn't immediately available. Knowledge doesn't just fill your mind. It shapes your perception of everything. When you know too much about the world, about its systems, its corruption, its chaos, it becomes harder to find joy in the simple things. You can't just watch the news anymore. You analyze it. You can't just enjoy social media. You see the algorithms pulling the strings. You can't just rest. Your brain reminds you of everything you're not doing. It's called metacognition, awareness of your own thinking. And it's both a blessing and a curse, because when you become too aware of your own mind, you stop living in it and start living around it. You become an observer of your own life, detached, analytical, aware, and painfully self-conscious. Maybe that's the real curse of knowing too much. Not the burden of information itself, but the quiet erosion of mystery. We were never meant to know everything, because wonder lives in the unknown. Purpose comes from the pursuit, not the possession. So maybe the solution isn't to learn less, but to let some things stay unexplained. Watch a sunset without thinking about light wavelengths. Listen to music without analyzing the chord progression. Talk to someone without trying to read between the lines. There's still beauty in not knowing, because ignorance isn't always stupidity. Sometimes it's the last form of innocence we have left. Knowledge is power, yes, but too much of it can drain the color out of life. So ask yourself, has knowing more made you happier, or just more aware of what you've lost? Maybe the goal isn't to understand everything. Maybe the goal is to feel something again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, you should check out some of my other videos and subscribe. Anyways, I hope to see you guys all in the next video.